I inflicted myself a bruise after my father hit me. Hi everyone, Throwaway account. So when I was 16 years old, I was watching TV on the couch. My father was in his office behind me and he asked me to run an errand after school tomorrow. I replied that tomorrow was not possible because I had soccer practice after school, but that I will do it the day after. I heard him saying what? And approaching behind me. I replied the same thing without thinking, pretty absorbed by the TV. Then all of a sudden, I felt his hand on my face. It was kind of weird, not a slap or anything, he kind of grabbed my cheek and squeezed it hard. I was in shock, I jumped and stood up looking at him asking what he was doing. He looked mad and said that I must stop discussing what he says or something like that. I went out to get some fresh air. When I got back home, my mother and my brother were there so I played it normally like nothing happened, they were not home when it happened. Up until that point I had a normal son-father relationship, he's always been strict, but had not touched me since I was a kid, maybe because I never discussed anything he said. I'd like to precise the errand was not urgent at all, and I replied to him in a totally normal tone. So that very night I was brushing my teeth and crying looking at the mirror. I was so hurt and betrayed by what happened. More than anything, he seemed to not care at all, and nobody would know it ever happened. I didn't think about it then, but maybe it was subconscious. So when I was laying in bed, full of anger and sadness, for some reason, I grabbed my cheek and squeezed hard for a few seconds. It hurt a bit more than when my father did it, but just physically more. Sure enough, the next day, I had a clear bruise on my face. Friends in school were jokingly asking me if I got into a fight yesterday. A teacher asked me if everything was okay. Then I got home and my mother saw me and immediately asked me what happened. I told her that dad hit me yesterday because I refused to run an errand. She immediately called him and I went to my room. I heard her describing him with a bruise and then she called me saying that he wanted to talk to me. He was stuttering and apologized. Then I thought that he wasn't feeling sorry for what he did because if it was the case he would have apologized before. He was sorry that it was visible. A few hours later he got home and I overheard my parents arguing and my father saying how he feels terrible. Then he saw me and was surprised, asked if it was the consequence of what he did. I think he had a feeling something was off, but he wasn't at all in position to say anything. Then he repeated that he feels bad. I had almost forgotten about this story from 10 years ago, but I was looking at old pictures and I have this bruise on my face in one of them and I immediately remembered this. The worst part is that I don't really feel bad at all for what I did. I mean I know it was not right, but so was his action. I call it even. What do you guys think? Curious hearing you all. Feel free to be totally honest.